Well, since The Incredibles 2 is coming out this week, I decided to review the first Incredibles, directed by Brad Bird and also written by Brad Bird. Now, Brad Bird had, I don't know how many films he directed before he did The Incredibles, but I do know that he directed The Iron Giant, which many people over the years have said that's one of the more underrated animated movies. But, however, since it got a Blu-ray release and was even given a very limited theatrical release, I don't really think we can call The Iron Giant underrated anymore. I think people have recognized, I think many people think that The Iron Giant is an amazing movie, which it is. And so, it's really interesting to see him come back into animation with The Incredibles. Now, funny enough, as a kid, I wasn't really all that interested in the idea of The Incredibles. Although, when we had the VHS for Finding Nemo, it came with a little teaser trailer for The Incredibles, which had Mr. Incredible just trying to put on his suit, and looking back on it, that trailer is actually really funny. Yeah, so when I watched The Incredibles as a kid, I thought it was pretty good, but over the years, especially up to now, I've loved The Incredibles more and more with every viewing, and now I think it's not only Pixar's best animated movie, but it's one of the best animated movies in general. The Incredibles is such a fantastic movie on every level. It's a fantastic kids movie. It's a fantastic comedy. It's a fantastic superhero movie. The Incredibles just works on every level. Now, what is The Incredibles about? The Incredibles is... It's basically about Mr. Incredible and Elastigirl who have a family, but however, due to some recent events, the public is like, we don't need superheroes, they're just causing more problems for us, and there's a lot of lawsuits going around, and so superheroes have to go into hiding, but, Mr. Incredible, or Bob Parr, as his real name is, he just has that urge in him to be a hero again because he just misses the chase. He misses being a superhero, which is a very interesting concept. What if, superheroes, everyone just hated superheroes and there was a superhero who really wanted to come back and, be a hero again? Because I mean, even though, it doesn't always pertain to superheroes in general, or even at all. We have felt that need at some point in our lives. We do have that urge to be something more than what we are. And this movie does explore that really well, especially in just one shot where he just looks at all of the fan stuff that he's gotten, like a lot of the newspapers saying how Mr. Incredible saved the day again, or even pictures of Mr. Incredible that kids have drawn for him. That shot is so well done, and it just explains everything, and explains why he wants to be a hero again without saying anything. That element of the movie is really good. It's a really good character study of Mr. Incredible. Even then, without that, it's still a really funny comedy. I just watched it, actually, really recently, probably, maybe not even 30 minutes ago, and I cannot believe how much I was laughing in this movie. This movie is really, really funny, from the character interactions, the dialogue, even the physical comedy. It's a really funny movie, and when it comes to comedic relief, I can't even mention The Incredibles without talking about Frozone. Frozone is one of the standout characters in this movie. He's played by Samuel L. Jackson, who I always call the most quotable actor in Hollywood because almost everything he says, you could just put in a quote and put it in a picture frame or some shit like that. He's just that quotable. And, of course, you know what I have to say when it comes to Frozone. Honey, where is my super suit? Where is my super suit? You tell me where my suit is, woman. It's for the greater good. Greater good? I'm your wife. I'm the greatest good you ever gonna get. It's just one of the greatest lines in any animated movie. It's just so funny. And again, that's another thing I love about The Incredibles. It's really, really funny. And it has so many memorable lines. Now, let's talk about the family dynamic. The family dynamic is so perfect. Have you ever seen or been a part of sibling disputes, when you were a kid? Yeah, everyone who has had a sibling knows that. This shows that so well, especially since these two kids, Dash who has super speed, and Violet, who has invisible and force field powers. That, like, when you see the disputes in this, it's so funny. Goodness gracious, so many really funny things in this movie. I'm telling you, it's such a fantastic comedy. No wonder it was nominated for a Golden Globe for Best Picture, Comedy, or Musical, even though the Best Animated Feature Golden Globe hadn't even hadn't even come around yet. And let's talk about the action in this movie. Goodness gracious, the action is so thrilling. Like, it's so creative. Like, because like you have these animated characters, and when you have these kind of like this kind of an animated movie and with action, it leads to so many unique and quick-paced action, and it's done so well. Like, you see really cool uses of their superpowers, like Dash running on water, which when he starts laughing when he starts running on the water because he's just such a curious kid. That, oh my god, that scene is so amazing. And there's also some really great scenes involving Mr. Incredible's strength, or Elastigirl's elastic powers, like where she gets a fucking, what is it called, like a pothole thing. Is that what I'm trying to think? It's a sewer lid or something like that. Whatever. And she swings her fucking arm around it, like around a light pole or something, and just uses her arm as a catapult to shoot it into a huge ass robot. I'm telling you, the action is so cool in this movie. And of course, Frozone, like, when you see the usage of his ice powers, again, it's just so cool. I cannot even begin to think about how Brad Bird was thinking about this action in his mind. I don't know. It's just amazing to think about, and it's even more amazing to see on screen, which makes me so excited for The Incredibles 2, because you gotta know that, like, after, like, 14, like, was it 14 years? It's, yeah, about 14 years after the first Incredibles was made, you gotta, like, the action has to be even more thrilling than it was in the first movie. I mean, I'm just so excited for The Incredibles 2. And now let's talk about Syndrome, the villain of the movie. Like, this is how a plot twist villain should be done. Because I've really crapped on Disney in recent years about their usage of really poorly done plot twist villains. Like I'm not gonna say the villains, but basically the villain in Zootopia, the villain in Coco, the villain in Frozen, the villain in Wreck-It Ralph. It's just so tiring to see, like, this movie that doesn't have a villain for the most part, and then right at the end of the movie, there's just a random plot twist villain just shoved in there for like in no cohesive way, and I really hate that. This, technically, I'm not going to explain who he is, even though it is kind of pointless for me not to, but whatever. Syndrome technically is a plot twist villain, because you see him and then he turns out to be someone you previously saw. But here's the thing. The reason why this works is, for one, it's not shoved in at the end of the movie. Hell, it's not even at the halfway point. It's like a few minutes before the halfway point. But this allows us to see more of Syndrome than just if he was, like, at the very end, the bad guy. And right when he's introduced, like, when we first see Syndrome completely, like, he's revealed to be a certain person, like, within the first 30 seconds, or maybe even, maybe within less than the first minute of you seeing him. That works. Like, he's quickly introduced, you quickly find out who he is, and then for the rest of the movie, you see him as the bad guy, and, like, with that knowledge. So that's how you do a Disney villain, especially a plot twist Disney villain. You see more of him. He's not just shoved in at the very end for some really boring climax. And that's really what I wish Disney would do. I wish Disney would have memorable villains again. That's probably my biggest fear going into Incredibles 2. I really hope The Incredibles 2 doesn't have some random plot twist villain shoved in at the very end of the movie. I would be really disappointed if they did that. In the end, The Incredibles is just a fantastic animated movie. It is one of the best animated movies of all time, and I think it's Pixar's best movie by a clear mile. And so, I'm going to be giving The Incredibles a 10 out of 10. I'm so hyped up for The Incredibles 2. Please don't have a dumb plot twist villain like you've been doing for a long time now, Disney. Come on, let's see a good villain here. Let's see a good villain that has a good amount of screen time and a villain that we can like. So, what are your thoughts on The Incredibles? Are you excited for The Incredibles 2? Let me know down in the comments below what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a like. Share this video so we can get the channel circulated. And if you want to see more, click this.